Yeah, Bob Coppage, CEO, Simplex-IT, Crotch.to Geek. And this is Biz Tech Twists, podcast where we talk about, business and technology. And I want to talk to you about attention, you know? Because right now I should be really perky. I should be talking about things in a dynamic way that is meant to actually grab your attention so you're paying attention to what it is I am saying, because that is worth paying attention to. Because after all, this is media, and media, social media or otherwise, is meant to be consumed. And by you consuming it, you're actually going to make your life better. Or not. And that's one of the challenges, isn't it? Because one of the interesting things is when you actually take a look at both information delivery, marketing delivery, advertising, all of that kind of fun stuff, none of it works unless you get the attention of someone. Now, those of you, and I am not old enough to understand this, but Sears actually got their start pretty much as a catalog company. But it was the only catalog company. They were the only company that really had all of the goods and services that were there in one place. So all they had to make is something that was relatively easily consumable. So you could actually take a look at it. You wanted the goods and services. That was convenient. Boom. One-stop shopping, literally, from that standpoint. Then more catalogs came out. More companies came out doing the same sort of thing. And so how do they compete to get the attention? Well, then they started opening stores. And they started doing additional things because attention was harder to get. And the reason I'm talking about this is that we are in a solution-rich environment when it comes to marketing and when it comes to advertising and when it comes to communicating goods and services that we make available or any kind of information we make available. I grew up-ish, still working on the whole puberty thing, but I grew up where there were 3 channels on the TV. 3, 5, and 8, ABC, NBC, CBS. So the presenters of that information and their advertisers, really, there were only 3 choices. And radio stations, there were about half a dozen or so, maybe a dozen, depending upon what type of stuff you wanted to listen to or the like. And this was back when AM was it. There was no FM. As those number of channels, as those number of programs, as those number of options increased, the advertisers, and we'll get into what that means, became more and more driven to get the attention, to get the viewers at that particular time. And advertisers had to come up with more and more interesting things. And if you take a look, and I probably should have done research on this because, I'm a lazy person, but one of the first ad campaigns that was done in kind of a guerrilla marketing kind of sense was done on an Easter Day parade back in the 19-teens when women weren't supposed to smoke, where a marketer paid a bunch of well-dressed, fashionable women to smoke during the Easter Day parade. And all they did was they walked down the parade and they smoked. And it was just simply to send a message that it's okay for women to smoke. Yay, progress. Okay, boo on the smoking, but you get the idea. They get 50%. As we move forward, there's more and more companies that are looking to find those ways to differentiate themselves from the competition. But now, here we are in the social media world, whether it be pay-per-click, whether it be podcasts, whatever the method is that we're trying to come up with this communication. But we want to start with how do we get someone's attention? So I'm going to start marketing. So I want to get people's attention. And if I have a message, I can't deliver the message until I have their attention. So what do? I'm going to pay or engage a social media provider, and we could be talking Facebook, Twitter, or X Twitter, or Twitter X, or Agent Twitter, whatever, LinkedIn, whomever, podcasting, to create some kind of engagement so that people are already paying attention to that particular platform. But then there's something particular about whatever it is my message is going to be that gets their attention. Now, you'll notice we're not talking click, because I have to have their attention in order for them to click. I'm not talking about them filling out a form because I have to have their attention for filling out a form. Now, in some cases, it's the provider of the information, or say, so Facebook, for example, Facebook wants you to scroll through things. They want you to click on things. And you first have to accept the fact that I'm going to go look at their platform and I'm going to give the platform attention. Then the ads on the platform, I'm going to give that attention. And then whatever their messaging is. So you see, it gets into multiple layers, but all of them are based on attention. So when you're scrolling through social media, you think you're the consumer? No, you're the product. Your attention is what, if I'm marketing on Facebook or any of these platforms, you're the product I'm trying to buy. So I will go to that platform and say, hey, I want to buy X number of clicks. I want to buy X number of engagements. And they'll say to me, okay, do you want just any kind or do you want the special kind? Well, what's the special kind? Well, that's going to be more expensive. Well, what's the special kind of engagement? Special kind of engagement are those people that you really want to talk to. Oh, we've got those. So Simplex-IT, managed service provider, we want to talk to people who are aligned with the management of organizations that need IT support. Oh yeah, we've got those. Because we know, based on the data we've collected from those people, we know where they hang out. We know what they click. We know what they're interested in. And for an additional fee, we'll put your attention getter in areas where they'll be the ones to see it. So when you get the clicks, baby, oh, you'll get the special clicks. But it'll cost more. Okay. Now, the only way I can do that is if they're collecting data about the people who are on their site. So you've got this really interesting situation going on whereby you, the product, going to these sites and looking at things and giving them data about yourself, you're actually fattening yourself up for the kill. So the next time you drive by a turkey farm and you see all those turkeys that are living in those little cubicles being fattened up so that they can be ridiculously plump and live miserable lives and they get slaughtered and eaten for Thanksgiving, even though your relatives make gravy with mushrooms in it, they know you're allergic to mushrooms, but they don't care because they hate you and they've hated you for 20 years. And okay, I digress. But the bottom line is those turkeys don't know what's happening to them. They don't know they're being fattened up for the slaughter. What do you think about Facebook? That's basically what's happening to you. What do you think about Instagram? What do you think about all of these platforms that we do, TikTok? And notice, I'm not talking about any kind of international nefarious cartel or whatever. No, they're learning more about you because you want them to know more about you so they can give you the stuff that you're more likely to be interested in. And so I can buy your attention knowing you're more likely to be interested in my goods and services. Which, speaking of my goods and services, Simplex-IT is a managed service provider. We provide IT support for organizations, either working solely with the client or as co-managed IT services. We've actually written some books on that subject. See, this time I'm actually saying the commercial instead of saying, let's do a commercial break. This is such a weird episode on so many levels. Why am I doing that? Because I've already got your attention. I've already got you paying attention to basically this gibberish that I'm spouting. And I'm using that attention to try to engage you further by seeing if you're interested in discussing our services. That's kind of how this whole thing works. And how do you prove that it works? Well, it's simple. There's a bell icon. You could click on that. And you could like it and just so say, I like you to the screen. It's kind of embarrassing. And if you're doing that at work, people are going to think you're on dating sites or worse. Okay, but you can click on the like, you can subscribe, you can tell other people about it, and you can also give me some comments telling me how people get your attention online. But keep it nice. And then you'll have my attention. Bob Coppage, BizTech Twists. Catch you later.